What's good, fam? What is good, you guys? Hope you all have had a very good week and an even better Halloween weekend. It's been pretty dope for myself. I had to get myself right for this Halloween weekend, and that's what this video is about. So let's get right into it. Definitely got a lot of hair like on top. It doesn't look too bad because I have the Johnny B hair gel, and it makes it really hard, which I'm not too much of a fan now. But gonna start by brushing down the hair. It looks really nappy on the side. I honestly don't brush it as much as I should on the side. I mainly just focus on like brushing the top of my hair, parting it. But to get this started with the Babyliss FX Pros, creating that first guideline all the way around my head, making sure that it's nice and even. And I'm so proud of myself, you guys, because I've gotten really good at making sure that it's even. Usually on this side I would always go like very high, and then on the opposite end it would be really low, so then I would have to push my fade up even higher, which is not a big deal for me. But I'm glad I've gotten very better with my hand-eye coordination when it comes to cutting my own hair. As always, using my Bronze Series 9 foil shaver to clean up everything under this first guideline. I do miss a little bit of hair like around I think both of my ear areas. I just couldn't get it that well with these. But don't worry, you guys, I'm gonna clean it up here soon with the trimmers. I've been using these Ion Extreme clippers that I got from Sally's Beauty Supply more than any of my other clippers currently, and it's just because I really like the way that the blend comes out with these. It just looks so smooth and very clean. In this clip, I'm just showing you guys what my hair looks like currently after these last few steps, and now I'm going to use the trimmer to clean up everything that wasn't able to get blended out with my Ion Extreme clippers. These Andy Slimline Pros do a fantastic job at blending out any guidelines that you're having trouble blending out. I didn't get it too perfect. I just went over it like a couple times, so you guys will still see kind of a little bit of a guideline towards the back. But later on in the haircut, I make sure to just blend it down evenly. I wasn't wasting no time with this haircut. I went right ahead and just attached the half guard with the lever fully closed to create this next guideline, because either way I'm going to have to blend it out using a lower guard. Right above that half guard with the lever still fully closed, I attached the one guard, and I'm going to blend up right above that. Not too high, just very slightly, and using a more of a flicking out motion, not digging harsh into my hair. You guys can go back and pause that just so you can see what it looked like. And right after that is the 1.5 guard. With this guard, I'm pretty much at the peak of my hair, and I'm just doing a nice little flicking out motion. And with this 1.5 guard, it really helped blend into that number 1 guard, so it looks really good. With no guard on, I've slowly closed the lever after each pass until the hair looks fully blended on just this bottom area. Also, excuse the funky faces y'all see me make throughout this video, kind of mean mugging the mirror. It can be hard to see with this little mirror, but I do my best. This line that I'm currently blending out right now was a mixture of that number 1 guard I used and the 1.5. So I just went ahead and started again with the number 1 guard, and I'm gonna just slowly close out that lever. I guess I just wasn't fully comfortable blending it out right away with the half guard because I wanted to keep a lot of darkness towards this side. So I was just being very careful at this point with how low I was blending it. At this point, this is what the hair looks like at this stage. I still needed to blend that bottom line because it was still pretty vivid. So with no guard on, I'm just going to keep blending it with the corner of this blade and just slightly closing that lever a little bit at a time until I can see that this line has pretty much disappeared. Moving on to the opposite end with the number 1 guard lever fully closed, creating that second guideline. Right after that, I'm going to create the third guideline right above that with the 1.5 guard. Same thing, lever all the way closed. It's just blending out so much better than me starting with it in the open position. I have to blend that number 1 line out, so I'm using no guard instead of just using the half guard, and just close the lever till it's fully closed. I'm blending out that number 1 guard with the half guard now, starting in the all the way closed position. As you guys can see from this cut, I've kind of been taking like a different route of doing my hair. Usually I would make the guidelines one at a time, blend each one out one at a time. And lately I've just been kind of creating those guidelines, each level fading up, and then I'll just do like a down fade and fade down from there. Showing you guys what it looks like after the past few steps. And to get that half guard erased, I'm going to use no guard. And like I always say, just start with the lever in the open position and close it a little bit at a time until that line has been blended out. Blending out that half guard with no guard on now, and this haircut has been a lot of work, you guys. It was a lot of work for me, just a lot of blending, a lot of detail. As you can see, looking not in the mirror but actually like on me, I still needed to blend the back end quite a bit on that opposite end, which I do a little later on, but it's just a lot of work, you guys, a lot of detail, and definitely a lot of patience is needed when you're cutting your own hair. Using my soft bristles brush, I'm just brushing everywhere around my head, brushing all the hair out the way. That way I can see what needs to be blended, which is quite a bit on the bottom on both sides. But next, before I continue blending still on the sides, I am going to wash my hair out, dry it, and just put it up. I want to see how long it is just so I can get a look at how much I want to cut off. I'm honestly just going to use the guard. My hair is very curly, you guys, when it gets long, and as you guys can see, I definitely had some length here on top. Using that number 6 guard with the lever all the way closed, I'm going to go pretty much back and forth, side to side, just to make sure I cut it nice and even on the top and towards the back. You guys will kind of see me dipping my head down like this once I get towards the back when I'm cutting. That way I can just scoop the hair off onto the ground, and this way it doesn't make a huge mess. Here's the hair. I didn't take off a lot. I didn't feel like I did. I mean, you guys will see right now when I brush it to the side. I mean, it is a pretty good difference in length. Before, it was just very curly and wavy. The hair was bunching up quite a bit, and now on this, I'm just gonna blend everything that folds over on that part. Not gonna do clipper over comb on this cut. I didn't want to have to set up my mirror and do all that extra work, so I believe this was the number 3 guard that I used on the side to blend that out. To make the cut pop a little more, I'm using the Babyliss FX Pros and just doing a little tapping motion on my natural part line. Brushed the hair and parted it. I won't be using a straight razor on this cut, just the Babyliss trimmers, because in my opinion they do plenty good job at creating a ball line and also cleaning up the lineup area, as you guys see that I'm doing right here. I wanted to make the front of this part line very sharp and well connected, so I'm just dabbing on it quite a bit just to make sure I can get all that hair off in the front. Right here on my left side, you guys can see I didn't fully blend that part. I'm not sure why I didn't do it right here and then, but I ended up doing it after the cut. I don't know why I didn't finish recording and just attach it here, but I ended up blending this whole left side down a little more with the half guard and using no guard just to get that line blended out on the bottom. Not sure how I missed it, but for those of you who are new here, I don't see that well without my glasses, so I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. I did want to trim down my facial hair and get it nice and cleaned up. So with the number 1 guard, I am going in the direction in which my hair grows. So I'm not going against the grain, I'm going with it. Doing it this way just ensures that I don't cut too much off. On this part that I'm lining up, I just brushed all the hair to the side, and whatever laid over that little corner piece, I just trimmed those down with the Babyliss trimmers, and that goes for the same underneath. Just shaping up and making sure that the bottom of my neck is nice and even. Gonna pull down and stretch on the skin so I can get the hair. That way the clippers don't actually nick me in the process. My facial hair grows so weird on this side, especially this bottom piece that you guys can see. It just grows in weird, nice and curly. This side right here that I'm on, it's nice and straight, but I mean, we work with what we have, right guys? I'm going to do a very, very light fade on the beard. Just gonna cut the hair that sits like pretty much around my middle of my ear. After that, gonna use the half guard to blend down from there, and then to blend that out, I'll just use the number 1 guard with the lever open. I didn't want to make this part too light, so I'm keeping the facial hair quite dark, and gonna do the same process on the opposite end. To blend out some of that bottom line, I did use the Bronze Series 9 foil shavers, and I'm just doing a little flicking out motion, making sure I get all the hair in the back of my head, on my neck, and just around my facial hair area. When it comes to trimming my mustache hair, I just brush the hair down, and then I'll just trim anything that overlaps in that area, cleaning everything around my lip area very carefully, only using the corner of my trimmers. I personally don't like anything like thinner than this when it comes to my mustache. I think it would look weird. So I kind of keep it pretty thick, as you can see, and just clean it up very nicely. As always, I'm using that Tomb 45 shave gel to shave and line up my facial hair using my straight razor. If you guys aren't comfortable with the straight razor yet, I'll go ahead and attach the picture of the type of razor that you could use. That way you could still clean up and line up around your facial hair and neck area to make it look a lot cleaner and sharper. Just to make sure I don't cut myself, I'm making a little ball with my cheek. That kind of just makes it tighter and just prevents me from cutting myself. Like I said, these straight razors are very, very sharp, and this part right here is probably one of my least favorite. I'm always nervous to cut around my lip area because it is a very sensitive area, but just be careful, you guys. Move your lips to the side and do kind of like these weird faces like I am. It'll just help to make sure that you're tightening the skin and limiting any possible chances of nicking yourself. This is the final thing I'm doing with the cut, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys had a wonderful Halloween weekend, like I said in the beginning of this video. And I appreciate everybody who's been subscribing to my channel. Y'all are the real MVPs, and I can't wait to bring you guys some better content. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.